Oh, joy of joys! Tubi has finally added my classic shorts, and nearly all of them at that. Roughly 700 Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies cartoons.
That's right, Daffy. And they even added my cartoons. Andale, yee-haw!
I know! And nearly all of them were restored after the HBO Max episode. This is some more especially good news for us Looney Tunes. I was kind of hoping Tubi would pick us up the way they did with the MGM cartoons and some of the Hanna-Barbera shows. And speaking of hunches, I know a certain gumshoe who can explain this better.
You're right on the ball, Duck. I, Sam Valentino, private toon detective, had a wild hunch the classic Looney Tunes cartoons would somehow end up streaming on Tubi, a fast-paced streaming channel, which stands for Free Ad-Supported Streaming Television. And like Daffy said, this is a really impressive lot. 786 classic Warner Bros. Cartoon shorts. This even includes several black and white Merry Melodies, the Speedy Gonzales cartoons, the 7 Arts era, even the final shorts produced by Larry Doyle and Sandra Schwartz, most of them lumped together in a single compilation. But of course there's no Bosco or Buddy, and the really politically incorrect cartoons aren't included here. As you probably noticed, all these shorts are compiled together in 262 half-hour programs. This didn't surprise me much, as Tubi did the same thing with the theatrical MGM cartoon shorts, all released under the Tom and Jerry name, akin to how MeTV and MeTV Tunes airs them. With that said, all these Looney Tunes shorts on Tubi are pretty much all the ones MeTV and MeTV Tunes show, and the ones that were restored since are presented that way, including the recent restorations of Tex Avery's A Day at the Zoo and of Fox and Hounds. Only a couple months after those two came out on Blu-ray, no less. George Fox is a pretty keen toon fox, even if he's just a Volpine version of Bugs Bunny. The Fox cartoons on this set are also there. I like the thumbnail of the titular Fox in a Fix, even if it's after he shaved the fur off his cheeks and tail to try posing as a dog. What a shame. I'd never do that if I were to disguise as a dog. I'd make like George Fox did, and actually put on a dog costume. But those newly restored cartoons I mentioned, including some predating the Warner Archive Looney Tunes Blu-rays like Beanstalk Bunny and Muzzle Tough, are pretty much all restored on Tubi's package, compared to those particular shorts still being unrestored on MeTV and MeTV Tunes. Beanstalk Bunny was kind of an infamous story, because of that cartoon's original 35mm negative having some damage at one part. So the remaster covered that up with the same scene from an upscale and color correction of a theatrical print, so it's forgivable. Needless to say, the restored Beanstalk Bunny was the first cartoon to be included on Warner Archive's very first Looney Tunes Blu-ray compilation, Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 1. But again, let me remind you that the main reason HBO Max got rid of the classic Looney Tunes, among many other animated shows, is because they are phasing out content aimed at kids and families, redirecting towards more mature audiences. I don't like to repeat myself, but people seem to keep forgetting, and just think David Zaslav hates animation. But I stand by my theory that Zaslav mug likely hates kids, which is why he'd hate animation, dismissing it as kid stuff, when that's simply not true. Animation is for everyone. Heck, many of those older Looney Tunes cartoons were also produced to appeal to adults, in addition to having stuff kids can enjoy, very much like Warner Brothers Animation would do again during their Silver Age, with Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs and Freakazoid. As such, with these kind of cartoons, when the kids grow up, they can then enjoy those childhood favorites even more, now understanding the more mature jokes and references meant to go over their heads. But by the 1960s, that would have very rarely happened, especially during the 7 Arts era of Looney Tunes, where they had maybe only a few such innuendos. And again, I want to remind you all that even with David Zaslav at the helm, Warner Brothers Discovery does care about the Looney Tunes, which is why they've been licensed to Tubi, and they're airing on MeTV and MeTV Tunes, and being released on Blu-ray via Warner Archivists, those have been making Warner some money. And because Tubi is ad-supported, this helps them a bit, even with commercials. But you can watch the cartoons there for free, so why not? Like I said, the premium streaming bubble may have burst, but fast-paced streaming services like Tubi are still thriving. Because then people will not have to pay a bit of extra cash unless they want to. And also with Warner caring about the Looney Tunes, the mild success of the limited theatrical release of The Day the Earth Blew Up movie Porky Daffy Duck convinced Warner Bros. Discovery to sell the distribution rights for Coyote vs. Acme to Ketchup Entertainment, along with such a big public outcry from us fans on that. In a way, we all had a part to play in help getting the Looney Tunes out of such a pickle.
And again, I thank you for helping out a bit, Mr. Valentino. You and Zach Wolf.
You're welcome, Daffy. Stuff like this shows how the little guy can make a difference sometimes. And with Warner Brothers and Discovery Global splitting up next year, that also helps. Even if that corrupt David Zaslav will remain with Warner for another year and a half before he finally leaves his position. He better not make any more stupid decisions relating to the Looney Tunes beforehand. Sorry about that. But yes, the classic Looney Tunes now being on Tubi, it still brings to mind some of the memes I've seen about Tubi picking up the cartoons HBO Max had purged. But they still have some ways to go. Right now, in addition to the Looney Tunes and MGM cartoons, they also recently picked up the Yogi Bear show. And they also have the Sylvester Tweety Mysteries and the Looney Tunes show sitcom added a few months back. Along with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, the Scooby-Doo show, and What's New Scooby-Doo, meaning the last one is once again on the same streaming service or channel as the 7 Arts Looney Tunes and the 2003 Looney Tunes shorts made by the same crew. Because you may recall me and Scooby bringing up how that particular Scooby-Doo series that represents the channel creator's difficult high school years, that was also purged from HBO Max at the very start of this month, justifying those Tubi memes even more. With Tubi featuring several of the same cartoons currently airing on MeTV Tunes, that whole thing about MeTV Tunes planning their own fast streaming channel, maybe Weijel Broadcasting will make a deal with Tubi and set up a category for them within their own service. Of course, Warner Bros. Discovery doesn't own Tubi. It's owned by News Corp, who also owns Fox Broadcasting, still after Disney bought the 20th Century Fox Studios and library from them. But Warner's licensing deal with Tubi must be doing really good. But there you have it. 768 classic Looney Tunes shorts have been added on Tubi. The same impressively large package Warner sent to Weijel Broadcasting, or MeTV and MeTV Tunes. And all along I had one of my famous hunches, being sure Tubi would pick up the classic Looney Tunes cartoons, which they indeed did. Is it any wonder I am pretty much Toontown's greatest private detective? But again, this is like yet another ray of sunshine through the dark storm clouds of the Warner Bros. Discovery merger.
Must you keep using that clip of that miserable cloud zapping me with lightning when using that metaphor? I mean, it's one of the only cartoons that era was actually nice to Speedy, but still.
Sorry, Daffy, but I couldn't resist. Given the memetic status of the Warner Bros. 7 Arts cartoons on this YouTube channel. And the fact that it's one of the 786 shorts on Tubi. HBO Max never even streamed the Speedy Gonzales cartoons, neither did Boomerang. It's an exciting new chapter in the history of the Looney Tunes availability, especially compared to 20 or even 10 years ago. Let's hope the Looney Tunes stay on Tubi for a good long time, since Tubi does have the habit of rotating shows and movies, albeit removing them for a set amount of time and putting them back on when ready. But who knows? Maybe the Looney Tunes and the Tom and Jerry and other MGM cartoons will have a more semi-permanent presence on Tubi until Warner Bros. Comes up with their own next streaming service to appeal to kids and families. So keep watching this channel to find out whatever deductions or findings I may come up with next.
Wow.